Hello, everyone. Hope you all are having a good holiday season so far. This is going to be, I guess, the 2023 year end update. Um, I know I missed the November update. We were fairly busy with holiday festivities. We had family come into town for Thanksgiving, and preparations for that kind of consumed the first couple of weeks of November. So I didn't get an update done. Now December is upon us. Time is short here as well, so I thought I'd just post a brief update, kind of give you a walk around the layout and show you what's new and what the current status is. The reason I'm here over at the lift out is that I have decided to go away from the drawer slide mechanism. I thought that was going to work out really well, but time has proven it has not. What has happened is that occasionally these tracks that you see over here, this one and this one, have the rails have caught on each other as I was sliding the drawer in and out, and it's pushed those out of alignment. So I was at a train show, I don't know, a few months ago, and I bought a couple of sections of track. And what I'm going to do is replace these two sections. This one is the yard lead, that's the main. So I'm going to replace those two sections of track, and this is just going to be a lift out from now on. I don't know if you can see, I've just got things clamped here right now, but I have this sort of ledger board in here, right here, that is just clamped right now, but the lift out section is just going to rest on that board. There's one here, there's one on the other side. I need to, as I said, screw those in yet. But what I'm in the process of doing right now is just leveling out the lift out section, and then I'll take those tracks out of there and relay them and make sure that I'm a little bit more careful on how I secure the ends. So that being said, just moving past the farm scene, I believe I have shown most of this before. It's pretty well done except for some details. Um, you know, Mrs. Farmer has fallen off the porch. But anyway, I have to get that kind of set back up again. I've worked on the field a bit over here. I've got some corn planted and some other stuff, which I'm not sure what that is. But I had some shrubbery, long strips that I just put in there. I thought that looked like a crop. I'll probably sprinkle some colored foam on the top of that, ground foam, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. I do have a couple of other rows over here that I'm planning on putting something, but I don't know what that something is going to be yet. Moving along around to the corner here under the window, I have my Purina feed and seed building in place. That's pretty much where that's going to go. I'm not sure about the little warehouse, whether that's going to stay or not. I do have an engine oil, not engine oil, but oil unloading facility there. That's going to be STP fuels and oils, along with some propane. Coming down along the backside, lots of ground cover in here right now. These buildings are fairly well in place. I think that's where they're gonna go. I'm not sure on what the names will be, but I think you'll remember that the last layout update, the siding was in and I was working on the intermodal facility. So it's pretty permanent right now. The two background buildings, I think will stay there. I may have to move those somewhere else. I'm not sure about, whether they're placed properly so that it's going to let cars clear them. So maybe some adjustment to be done there. Coming around the corner, this is my plastics facility. You can see the silos there. There's the warehouse with some trucks. A little guard shack there in the back next to the railroad tracks. And I have placed another road in here coming across there and then going around the outside of this building. This is the associated office building for my plastics facility. I had this Arctic decal that I don't know where I got it, somewhere, but it's going to be Arctic Plastics as the name of this facility. The road comes down here. Um, the square, a rectangle that you see, I have a Ma's Place restaurant that's going to go in there. I'm in the process of painting it right now. This is the, oh gosh, it's got several names. Printing company from AHM or IHC, depending upon uh, how it was boxed when you buy it. But so that's going to go in there. It's not going to be rail served. It's just going to be a building that I had. I like the looks of it. I didn't want to not use it on the layout. The road continues down and just kind of goes off the layout here. What you see here are foam sheets that I just put in. They are adhesive foam sheets, and I'll show you here at the end of the video. I'll put a picture in of what those are. I got them at Walmart. They're about 5 by 8, I believe, maybe 6 by 8, and they have a pretty good adhesive on the back, and they're about a little bit thinner than an eighth, but they match up really well with the base of the buildings. So I've decided to use these as parking lots or concrete, and obviously I just put them in, so I want to weather that up a little bit. Continuing on down, obviously right behind is the lumber facility. I have the buildings fairly well in place. Some of these little outbuildings will be moved. I've got some ground cover in here, kind of a sawdust color, I suppose. Stack of logs here. The logs you can get at Hobby Lobby seems to be normally around the holiday season. You can get, I don't know, it's probably a sack of, well, that's 2 sacks right there. So you want to count them and divide by 2. That's how many you get. But they look really good for HO scale. Coming around the end, log pond. This is another piece of that foam. The foam comes in multicolored sheets. I think there's like 40 maybe in a package, and it was like $8, so it's a pretty good deal. I just put some of that here around the edge of the lumber yard, so the forklifts have a place to run. Coming back down here again on the peninsula, some more of the outbuildings. This one is actually going to go here. So if I can move it without breaking it, it's going to be in that general facility, that general location. Log loading and unloading here. I'm going to put some kind of a scenery break in here. Not sure whether it's just going to be trees or hills or what. And the houses and buildings here along Main Street, which I'm calling it, are not in place yet. They're just kind of stuck in there to see where things are going to fall. Back around the corner to the engine facility. I did tag a little office building onto the outside there. I think that came from, gosh, I can't remember the name of the kit, but it was like a propane facility that had the little office building with it. That didn't survive the move, so the office building's still there, so I just stuck it on the outside of this engine servicing facility. I've got my fuel depot there. Coming back down this side, which is the yard. And finally, back around to the lift out. So, kind of the overview. Farm scene, warehouse and fuel, other warehouses and trackside, intermodal, plastics, a couple of non-rail served buildings. The peninsula is primarily the lumber yard. Town, engine servicing. Got a water tower in the back. It's not going to go there, but it's just sitting there right now. And then again, this is my yard coming down here. So, All right, let me pause here and we're going to go back to the workbench for just a minute. Here's that stack of foam sheets. They're multicolored. You get 40 sheets in a stack. So you can see there's a ton of them in here. And these take paint really well. So I'm not going to have any purple, pink, or green roads on my layout. But, you know, you can get these things in I think 10 by 12 or 8 by 12, which I found is great. But normally you end up cutting them because they're too big, at least in uh, my layout anyway. So I thought these would be the better choice. And let me take a shot of the label here so you can see what they look like. They are 5.5 by 8.5. So here's the label. Adhesive foam sheets. Walmart.com. So if you want them, search for that on Walmart.com. So I got an A and a B F7 unit here, Northern Pacific, and I got these off of eBay. I'm trying to think what it's like $60 or something. But these are, I'll call them late blue box, so late that the box wasn't blue anymore. It was right before the ready to run kind of stage of Athearn that was DCC ready. These may be called ready to run too, but I'm not sure. But they have all of the windows and the lenses in there for the headlights and such. You know, pretty good detail. You know, I'm not a stickler for excruciating detail. So anyway, not DCC ready. So I bought one of these adapter boards, which if you've not seen these, well, let me pause here for a minute so I can take it out. All right, so there's a backstory behind why the locomotive is all wired up here, but we'll get to that in a minute. So this is what this DCC adapter board looks like for the Athearn Blue Box locomotives. It has a clip on the bottom, which simply, if you're familiar with the inside of an old Athearn Blue Box, they have this contact here on top. So the clip merely slides down over the top of that to make that electrical connection, and then you wire it up basically for everything else. So there you can see it's got a DCC 9-pin port right there. There is also, I don't know if you can see it, there's an 8-pin slot right there. So you have an 8-pin and a 9-pin on here. This still has the DC jumper board in it right now, but if you pull that out, then you put a decoder in there. It has 2 tabs on the side, if you can see those. The one on the right is the bottom engine connector tab. So back to my story. I bought one of these a little while ago, soldered it all up, and put the locomotive on the track, and there was nothing. I mean, it was dead as a doornail. So I thought, well, did I buy a locomotive that doesn't work? So I desoldered all of my connections from the old board and directly soldered all of the connections from this pigtail that I had, and put a decoder in there, and it fired right up, and it runs pretty well. You know, it runs quiet. So that was good news for me. You know, as I said, I have an A and a B unit. The B's not powered. The A is the only one that's powered. So I went ahead and the reason that the board, as I found out, didn't work, and this is becoming a long story here, but that lower engine connector that I was telling you about here, the one on the right, when I soldered it, I don't know if I got it too hot or if it was defective or what, but it was flopping around, you know, like a piece of cardboard or something. So anyhow, I was able to return it and get a refund, which is, you know, which was good. So I bought another one, and I think maybe this time, instead of trying to solder the connection just for that one tab, I'm going to use a little jumper connector to do that. You know, you can solder the other connections just fine. You know, you've got the engineer and and the conductor side here of your power for front and back. And then the tabs in the middle on front and back are your light connections. You know, so it's pretty easy to wire up, a lot easier than trying to deal with that. So anyway, you know, that's kind of my next project. I may post another video separately on getting that all done. So if that would be of interest, I think some folks are, you know, they still like the old blue box locomotives, and this is a good way to get them converted. This board is around, I don't know, $17, $18. You can find it on eBay, Walmart.com. There's a couple of versions of it. This one here, the 90616, if I can get that in focus, ATH 90616 is the one that has the clip on it, that little metal clip. There's another version of this, I think it's like a 618 maybe, that does not have this clip, but it's got a couple of screw holes in it. So for the later ready to run Athearns that did not have this configuration on it, you can get one of these boards. It might be a Genesis board, I think is the name of it. But anyway, I'm rambling now. So, but that's it. That's kind of where I am for my year-end update. Hopefully everyone will have a good Christmas, get plenty of train stuff, and looking forward to seeing all of your videos. Hope all of you have a Merry Christmas and a good New Year, and we will talk to you again in January.